You're listening to Orlando Credit Union's On the Money. I'm your host, Kaylee Greene, and today I'm joined by guests both in-house and virtually, so this is a new, fun, exciting thing for us. So first from Orlando Credit Union, I have Tim Cahill, Commercial and Business Banking Manager, and Melvin Ramen, Chief Lending Officer, joining me in studio. And then virtually, we're joined by Michelle Salazar from Paychex and Wayne Hayton from Fort Point Payments. So welcome, Michelle and Wayne.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So glad to have you both with us. And then, of course, welcome to you, of course.
Thank you very
much.
Great
to be here.
Tim, so excited to talk to you guys. This is a full house. We're going to have a lot to discuss, but I think this is important because what we're talking about today is, of course, small businesses. And we're seeing this a lot in Orlando, small business owners, people who are entrepreneurs. So I think this is a really important discussion to have for people who might, be in the beginnings, or maybe they're interested in it, or maybe they're fully in it and they just want that guidance. So not only across Orlando, but across the country, we're seeing this become a really popular trend where people are becoming small business owners and entrepreneurs, and making sure that you as a business owner can manage all the moving pieces is what makes businesses thrive. So that's what we're going to talk about today, all those different moving pieces. And if you guys are ready, I think we'll just dive right into the first question.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. So Tim, I want to start with you.
Sure.
Finances are one of the biggest moving pieces that can make or break a business. So how can a business owner stay on top of their financial health?
Well, I think, and for the most part, small business owners, they wear many hats.
Yeah.
They're not only, they own the business, they're trying to do their HR, they're trying to be the CFO, and a lot of things are going on. So first of all, I think they need to look at a plan. They need to have a plan in place. Working with a Orlando Credit Union business banker can certainly help them establish that plan. Secondly, probably one of the most important is understanding their cash flow and their cash flow process. And what I mean by that is their accounts receivables and their accounts payables. Too often, they're so busy doing other things.
Yeah.
They have, they're trying to collect on the receivables, but they have bills to pay and they got to pay it out. So they got to get a good handle on that, understanding what that cycle looks like. There are certain products that we offer that can help them with that, such as a line of credit. If used correctly, it is a perfect type of solution for that. So what I mean by that is as they're getting those invoices that have to be paid, and they're trying to collect money, they have a line of credit to be able to use to bridge those days in between. Having said that, it's important that they understand how to use the line of credit. Sometimes business owners, especially when they're first starting out, they will go, because a line of credit is very friendly in the sense for repayment purposes. It's typically an interest-only payment, and as you pay down principal, it becomes available to you again. So it's a revolving type of product. But what happens more times than not, it's not used correctly. Give you an example. Contractor goes out there, he might be a roofing company contractor, and he'll go out there and he'll purchase a vehicle and use a line of credit. Not the right product to use.
Yeah.
We have vehicle loans that can take care of that. But if it's used effectively and used correctly, it's just a great service to have. Not only that, I think partnering with a business banker from Orlando Credit Union, we have other partners that we work with that can help them take off some of those hats as far as their payroll, HR, human resources related issues. Certainly, if they receive payments via credit card, merchant services. So it allows them to focus more on their business. So those are really like the two things that I think are most important. Again, I can't emphasize enough working with a professional banker, a business banker like we have at Orlando Credit Union to help them do that, and let the business banker navigate them, not only today, but as they continue to grow. Orlando Credit Union, we're very consultative, we're very relationship driven, we're not transactional. We want your success this year, 3 years from now, 10 years from now, and we want to be able to give you that and assist you with that roadmap to do that.
Yeah. And that's so important because I feel like as a business owner, you want to be able to say, oh, I can do everything. I can handle it all myself. But what you really need to do is, like you said, go to those professionals that can help you and guide you and give you the right tools that you need, which is what we're going to touch on when we speak to Paychecks and Fort Point, a little bit about those tools that we're partnering with to really expand, the help and guidance they have even more so. So you touched on everything that I kind of want to dig into a little bit more. So let's start with Melvin. When it comes to financing, what are some of the lending options available to small business owners through Orlando Credit Union?
Yeah, Kaylee. At Orlando Credit Union, we have a lot of products and services for our members, right? From deposit products, your savings, your checking, to treasury management products like Paychecks and Fort Point. But we also offer loans to help business members, right? So from your business vehicles to get them from point A to point B to run their business, to credit cards and line of credit where they can essentially look for working capital to run the business. And then you're talking about a term loan, which is an equipment loan or any piece of collateral. Or we then get a little bit deeper into your commercial properties, your investment properties. So we do it all. So if a business member needs a loan, we understand the purpose and what they're trying to achieve. We pretty much can help them achieve all of those different goals.
Yeah. And I feel like it's so nice, especially as that business owner who's probably extremely busy, to be able to go to one place and it's almost like a one-stop shop. We can help you with any loans you're looking for. We also have services that can help you with HR, with payroll, with payment processing. So we really have it all, which I think is really important for, people who are like, my time is so valuable. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner. I need to make sure that I can do A, B, and C in this specific amount of time.
Yeah. And it's also usually staged. Right? So you have a business member who comes in, they need a business credit card, maybe an auto loan, and then the business starts growing, they need a line of credit, they start needing equipment. It's all a flow, right? So it's at their life cycle, wherever they need it, we're here to meet them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, again, that's one of the reasons why it's important to work with, a business banking professional. Here at Orlando Credit Union, their average experience is 20 years. Experience, so they know how to do this, and it's, for me personally, it's very satisfying when you're able to help and watch a small business grow, knowing that you've helped and assisted in doing that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the culture of Orlando Credit Union, where we're our commitment to our members, to our community. It's very important, obviously, and. I just think we are very committed to that, and it's, again, self-satisfying.
Yeah. It's got to be a great feeling.
Oh yeah. No doubt.
A lot of fun.
No doubt.
So obviously there are successes that come with that, but of course there are mistakes that can happen as well. What are some of the most common mistakes that small business owners make when they're applying for loans or lines of credit?
So I'll start, and then I'll let Tim join. Usually it's just understanding what they're trying to achieve. I think Tim touched on that, right? So you're using a line of credit to get a business vehicle, not the right product. Let us help you get the right product. Also, planning ahead. You want to make sure that you have a need for a loan. Make sure your documentation is in order. Make sure that you can support the obligation you're going to take with a credit union. And, also the last thing I'll say is many business member will focus on rate and not look at all the fees that comes with it, or focus on fees and not look at the rates. Or sometimes even just focus on rates and fees and not think about the relationship that comes with it. So it's a package, right? And talking to professionals and really comparing the different offers you get is critical in making sure you achieve success.
Yeah.
And I'll just expand on that a little bit. As I spoke about previously, planning. You're going to have capital expenditures as your business continues to grow. Well, what do you anticipate those to be? Plan accordingly. Again, small business owners, entrepreneurs, getting into it, their minds go in 47 different ways, and they got to take the time to do that. They've got to know that, a year from now, 2 years from now, I might need to be able to, based on my expansion goals, if you will, I might be looking to purchase some commercial real estate. So what do I need to do to be able to do that? And talking with a professional business banker at Orlando Credit Union to help guide them through that process. And then just ensure, again, that from a financial perspective, that record keeping is very important. Their financials, profit and loss, balance sheet, match accordingly, if you will. And most of them do, but they just need help because they're not CFOs. They're not accountants or CPAs.
Yeah.
They're running their technology company. They're running their roofing company, whatever it might be. So it's just seeking the right type of guidance and professionals that can help them.
Yeah. And it's good to have a plan. So kind of moving into my next question from what you were saying, I want to talk about vendors. So Melvin, I'll ask you first. What are some key factors to consider when you're selecting vendors for your business? Because obviously it's all about having those future goals and making sure you can achieve those goals. What should business owners be thinking of?
Yeah, that's such a great question, Kaylee, right? I think that all of us have our geniuses, right? This is where we strive. This is where we do our best work. And businesses, usually they have a line, they have their lane, they know what they do really well. And they should also know what they don't do so well that they can partner with someone to help them achieve it, right? So you're thinking maybe a business like a roofing company that Tim used, or you're looking at, maybe a contractor. They know how to, look at a building and tell you what needs to be done, but they may not be the best at hiring, or also keeping their employees engaged. They may not be the best at managing their cash flow and receiving their payments and paying. So that's how you partner with a lot of, vendors that we call partners, like Paychex and Fort Point, to help you achieve those, right? So you can maximize your time on where your genius is to make the most money you can make, right? Because that's the point, and help as many customers as you can as well.
And of course, like you just mentioned, we partner with Paychex and Fort Point Payments. And I want to talk a little bit about what our partnerships with those companies look like.
The partnership for us, and I'll talk as partnership in general, right? Just big. We partnered with Paychex. It's been about a year now. And with Fort Point, it's been, Tim can probably say, but it's been a bit. I joined the credit union in January, so still learning those things. But, what we're looking for is we're looking for partners who are going to challenge us as well, right? So help our members. Our members have big dreams. They want to achieve all their goals, and we are looking for partners to help them get there, right? So what we're also looking for is our partners to challenge us, to make sure that we're always on our toes. We're always looking for the right opportunities to help our members. And I can say that Paychex and Fort Point does that for us, right? That's why we love the partnership we have with them, because they help us help our members.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to add real quickly, both Paychex and 4 Points. I know 4 Points, who's our merchant service partner. When they go and reach out to one of our members or prospective new members, they really go in there as a partner of Orlando Credit Union. And at the end of the day, if I tell a member, look, I'm part of my job is to look for ways, to save you time, save you money, and make you money.
Yeah.
And if I'm able to save you money through my partnerships that I have with Paychex and with 4 Points, I expect to earn your business because I've done my part in this. And again, with 4 Points, our merchant provider, and Paychecks, when they go out there, they're there to benefit not only us, but our members. They're looking for ways to save them money, make it more efficient for them to do business, and really representing the Orlando Credit Union brand. So, again, when it comes to vendors, to me, that's important. And they just do a fabulous job. They do a great job for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of our partners, as we just talked about, is Wayne from 4 Point Payments. So Wayne, explain what your team does for business owners.
Well, at 4 Point, our goal is to evaluate the business owner, whether it be a new client, member for Orlando Credit Union, is it a new business or is it an existing business, and see how the business is taking their payments, whether it be through ACH, more debit card, more credit card, card present over the phone. Our motto has always been there's no business too big or too small for us to take care of.
So something else to keep in mind is that business owners, what I've noticed, often worry about the cost of payment processing. Wayne, are there any strategies that business owners can use to minimize fees while still offering convenient payment options to their customers?
Yeah, the credit card processing, a lot of people think that we just sell a credit card terminal or we put a terminal in there, and there's a lot of science and there's a lot of mathematics behind credit card processing. There's interchange that the card brands receive back. There's a lot of different evaluations that go into taking a credit card or a debit card. And those are two different ways to take payment. We see them as a card, but they're two different rules. And that's the big thing that we look at 4 Point is, are the clients following the guidelines, whether it be by Visa set guidelines or by be the guidelines that the state may have. So we take all that into account, and then we look to see how that merchant or how that business owner is taking payment, and that's how we put together a plan to make sure they save the most money.
And I think that's so important because, like we've been talking about here, entrepreneurs, business owners, they are trying to maximize their time. So having a company like 4 Point to be able to come in, put that plan together for them and do that research, I think is so important.
Oh, exactly.
Another thing we're seeing in this huge digital age is cyber threats. They're a big concern right now. So how can small businesses ensure secure transactions?
Well, one of the things that we have is in our payment processing is we follow all PCI guidelines, and that's the payment card industry guidelines. We actually assist all of our members, all of our merchants to ensure that they are PCI compliant. And we have a process to do that. There's other companies out there that Visa requires the merchant business owner to be PCI compliant, but they don't push and urge them to become PCI compliant, and they charge them a fee. Those fees can range from $50 a month to now there's one company out there, it's $120 a month. You just pay for non-PCI compliance. Well, with our members, with Orlando Credit Union, we ensure that they are PCI compliant, and we have a team that when we onboard those, that they get PCI compliant. There's just documents they fill out, they file, and that is done every single year. So it's not just a one-time thing. Every year the anniversary comes up, we have reminders, we have an automated system, we have people in place that we can assist them in getting PCI compliant. And what that does is that scans the terminal, that scans the point of sale system to make sure they don't have threats that is there.
That's great. Now I want to talk to Michelle a little bit about Paychecks and what they provide to business owners. So Michelle, expand a little bit on Paychecks specifically.
Yeah, so Paychecks is a industry-leading human capital management company that delivers a suite of technology and advisory services for human resources and payroll. So essentially, we provide like a one-stop shop HR department. So we'll handle everything from streamlining your recruitment to retention of employees, and then processing payroll, all the things that are associated with running a business and having staff and employees.
Yeah, and that's so important for small business owners because not a lot of small businesses have that dedicated in-house HR team. So what kind of HR support does Paychex provide regarding hiring, onboarding, and compliance specifically?
Yeah, so with HR services, you'll get a dedicated HR business partner that will learn and know your business so they can specifically provide solutions to your specific challenges. I think what's really important to understand when you outsource HR is that it really does give time back to the business owner to focus on more strategic functions of the business, like running the business, making sure they're geared for growth and for success long term. Some of the things that Paychex can help with, or your trusted payroll provider and HR services provider, is really streamlining the onboarding process, the recruitment process of employees, looking at if you look at how much time a business owner spends on processing payroll, making sure that the employee rate is correct, that the employee is coded correctly, keeping up with state, federal, and local regulations. All of those kind of HR functions are a lot, just very time consuming for the business owner. So we will take that on and make sure that the business owner is compliant. We are focused with making sure that we're keeping up with some of those regulations and tax rates. So the business owner can, again, focus on more important things like running his business.
Yeah. And I think every business owner's hope is that their company will continue to expand. But as businesses grow and hire more employees, payroll and HR needs are becoming more complex as well. So how does Paychex support businesses as they scale?
So Paychex has a really great technology that will grow with the business. So you don't have to switch platforms. Our Flex technology grows with the business, and it can basically make sure that you can go from 1 to 500. As the business is really kind of looking at adding on new employees, we have services like HR Copilot that will help with the recruitment. It really kind of just analyzes the actual needs of what the business owner needs for that position, and it will go and use AI to create a pipeline for that candidate who is going to be a good fit. And then once that candidate is onboarded, it can go through streamline all the onboarding processes to get that candidate on board. From a payroll perspective, it will, not only provide the payroll processing that's involved with getting your employees paid, but it will also make sure that you're compliant with all of the regulations from, all of the state, local, and federal changes, but also make sure that, you're doing all the things that's associated with processing payroll. So it's all the taxes, it's all making sure that, everything's filed correctly. And it's just, I think the most important thing is that you're making sure that your employees are paid on time.
Absolutely. So if a business owner runs into a payroll issue, how does Paychex provide that support?
So Paychex has a 24/7 support structure. So a business owner can reach out to Paychex via chat, via email, via telephone. There is somebody available for them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Perfect. And of course, we want to educate continuously, but I also like to encourage. So for our listeners, does anybody want to share any small business success stories?
Sure. There's, I'm going to use Wayne at Fort Points. Excuse me. We had a business. It's called Orlando Metro Gymnastics. They have now 5 locations. I just recently financed the purchase of their 5th location and the build out. The owners, Elena and Jeff trains Olympic athletes. And this is his 5th location in St. Cloud. And one of the things we talked about was obviously merchant services. I got to tell you, when you talk about choosing the right vendors, Wayne, we put them in contact, and Wayne went out, not only in person to meet with them and go through all their different services that they would need, but really made them understand it was, based on what he was able to solution that he provided, and I'm sure Wayne, please correct me if I'm wrong, but he was able to save them over $500,000 a year.
Wow.
In processing because of the solutions that he came up with for them. So they opened up 12 merchant accounts with 4 Points, our partner. We got obviously a great commercial loan relationship with them, and that's just one success. I mean, we certainly have had a number of successes. Orlando Metro Gymnastics is not really a small business, but we do have other small business success. Just recently, Dr. Atkinson, who's a veterinarian, we just did some refinance for her of her current location. She's looking to purchase a new location as well, so she'll have 2 practices. She's actually working with 4 Points right now as well, trying to get her into paychecks because her mom right now does her payroll, and it's a family-run thing, but she can certainly use paychecks as well. So again, there's opportunities, and it's just us being able to find those opportunities, provide the right solutions using our vendors who we know are going to step up to the plate and certainly take care of our members. So it's good times.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you all for being a part of the podcast. It was great to be able to sit down and learn a little bit more about managing those components of being a small business owner. Of course, you can learn more about Orlando Credit Union by visiting our website at orlandocreditunion.org. Until next time, we're investing in you. Orlando Credit Union is providing this podcast as a public service. The information provided is neither a legal interpretation nor a statement of Orlando Credit Union policy. Reference to any specific product does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by the credit union. Views and opinions expressed by Orlando Credit Union employees are those of the employees and do not necessarily reflect the views of the credit union or any of its officers. Orlando Credit Union is not providing any financial, economic, legal, accounting, or tax advice or recommendations in this podcast.